Friday night starter.
Yeah, he was in the bullpen last year for the Auburn Tigers. This year he's come in, now he's gotten the Friday night start.
And gets a first pitch strike to Bradfield. Bradfield stepping in with a .324 average, and again, that on-base percentage sky high at .421. One missing off to make it 1 ball and a strike in SEC play. Well, Bradfield's been pretty good too. .325 hitter with 13 hits. And a big hook falls in for a strike.
So far working him away to start, and then you see the big breaking ball. Probably try to get Bradfield to chase outside the zone away.
Last year's SEC Freshman of the Year held off on that pitch, and a little hesitation there, but took it 2-2.
Yeah, that's a perfect pitch. If you want to get him outside the zone. You don't want him to try to. You don't want to try to give him something inside the zone to hit.
Sky to the right side. Staying just on the edge of the grass for Cole Foster. Haul it in after the long wait for the first down. Nice start for Hayden Mullins, and here's what you can expect from the left-hander tonight, Greg.
Yeah, we're going to see fastball, low 90s, a slider that he's been using a lot more this year. He's been traditionally a curveball guy, and we saw a couple of them to Bradfield. He's going to throw the slider 80-84, and he's going to mix in a changeup as well.
Mullins 2-1, making his 5th start this year. Facing Davis Diaz. Getting ahead again, 0-1. Living low in the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike. Diaz, another top hitter in this Vanderbilt lineup. His consistency really 1 through 5 in that order. This guy's hitting at .310, and he's only a freshman making a splash coming from the West Coast.
Mullins started Diaz off with a changeup, which is kind of curious, considering he has no fastball to base it off of. It's a gutsy call. Mullins lands the first changeup and then is trying to go down and away and missed with the last 2.
And gets the breaking ball in there for a strike, 2-2.
That's really good. Being able to throw Vandy off-speed changeups, breaking balls, win behind in the count is going to be the key to getting these guys out.
Interesting point you made about the first pitch changeup as the 2-2 comes in and got him chasing strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Hayden Mullins, and it's 2 down in the top of the first.
Yeah, breaking ball lands 2-1, and then he goes with the fastball down and the way out of the zone. Diaz is unable to lay off the 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that's the 24th strikeout of the year for Mr. Mullins. Now he's going to go through Spencer Jones, a right fielder who's having himself a solid season. Coming in at 6'7", 225. Man, he's got the build. Jumping on the first pitch and roping the first hit of the night for the Commodores. And for Jones, getting the Commodore 2-out rally started.
That's about the first pitch that Mullins has missed in the middle of the plate. Challenges the left-handed hitter, Spencer Jones. Fastball stays over the middle. He does a nice job of just staying inside out of it and driving it into left field.
That gives his opportunity to his catcher, Dominic Keegan, who is swinging one of the best bats in the SEC, coming in at .424. Senior coming in out of Massachusetts. On the stretch, you see Nate LaRue getting a little action in early, handling that ball cleanly in the dirt.
Yeah, nice job breaking ball. It looked like the slider down out of the zone. LaRue's able to pick it pretty clean. Spencer Jones stays at first base.
Remember, this Vandy team likes to run. Jones 6 for 6 on the year in stolen bases. And it's the 1-0 missing inside at 90 miles per hour.
It was funny when I was going through my notes, Britt. Start writing down stolen bases, and you got Bradfield 18 of 18. You got Diaz 4 of 4. Jones is 6 of 6. And I'm just looking down the list going, has anybody been thrown out for Vanderbilt?
I had that same thought as Mullins comes back with a strike on Keegan.
Well, that is why Nate LaRue is back behind the plate. This is 7 straight games that he has caught. Been very effective, very good, and he's got a cannon for an arm.
Well, he helped Auburn in that series against Texas A&M. That was one of the keys Auburn wanted to focus on, and that was a big hook and a big miss by Keegan.
That's been the one thing that's really kept LaRue out, is his ability to call the game. It's not, necessarily been the offensive side. He's got an unbelievable arm. It's just getting into the game, blocking consistently, and he has been doing that for the Tigers this year.
And our first pickoff move of the night from Mullins.
Well, look for Spencer Jones. We might see him take off. I don't know if it's going to be a first move type of jump, but you got one of the top hitters. You're hoping to get a fastball. He's probably going to get a breaking ball and something good to run on.
2-2 and fanned him. Hayden Mullins gives up the 2-out single. No harm, no foul. 2 strikeouts for the starting pitcher. We head to the bottom of the first. We are scoreless on the Plains. Bottom of the first, a quiet top half. Vanderbilt squandered 1 2-out single. Now it's the Tigers' turn in the bottom of the first. And for the Auburn lineup tonight, got to know where Sonny DeShera is, Greg Olson. Is when you're leading the nation in batting average, slugging percentage, on base percentage, he's going to be a big part of the scout for the Vanderbilt pitchers.
Yeah, and we're seeing much the same thing as we did with Vandy's lineup. They didn't need to keep Blake Rambush off. He's hitting .383. Kason Howell's gotten scorching hot after a very slow start, and all those guys are in front of DeShera. So you're going to look for Chris McIlvain to get ahead early, try to get those guys out, limit how many people are on base for Sonny DeShera.
Yeah, McIlvain, he's a junior coming in out of Thompson Station, Tennessee, and got his 4-1, making his 8th start tonight. Greg came in out of the bullpen last year, now in a starting role this year.
Yeah, fastball is going to be in the low 90s, 91 to 94. Slider, curveball, changeup, much the same as Mullins. He is on the Golden Spikes watch list. And Coach Corbin called him a bulldog. So I'm looking forward to watching this bulldog get out there and battle and compete.
Yeah, very complimentary of his starting pitcher. Is, again, when you're a strike thrower and you live around the zone, well, your head coach, they're going to love that out of their Friday night starter, and that's what you got to have in this league.
That's what you got to have as a Friday night guy. You got to get ahead. You got to have something to get people out inside the strike zone, and I'm looking at his stats right now. 37 innings pitched, 51 strikeouts. Something that stands out.
Well, a guy for Auburn, much like Enrique Bradfield of Vanderbilt, is Blake Rambush leading things off. First pitch in there high at the belt for strike 1. Rambush has been a positive jolt for this Auburn lineup, Greg. He's a table setter, hitting .383, chasing after the high fastball.
Yeah, going back through our coaches' meetings, Butch Thompson said that Blake Rambush is part of this grinder identity that this Auburn Tiger team has pulled off this year.
Down 0-2, taking one outside. Not a bad miss by McIlvain.
Showed him the slider outside. Couple of fastballs been elevated, got away with them so far.
1-2, right back up the middle, going up to get it. Gordon making the catch in the middle infield.
Looked like a slider or cut fastball, something down and away, a shorter slider. Great location. Rambush was sitting all over it, gets out there, and that ball was probably off the plate a little bit. And well played by Gordon. Wasn't hit all that hard. I think if it had been hit squared up a little bit more, it probably would have been a base hit, but still an effective line drive.
Gordon making a nice catch as Kason Howell taking the first pitch outside, ball 1. And for Tim Corbin, a couple shaky innings last weekend defensively, but asked him this week how he felt about his defense, and he said overall really good. They're going to make the plays. They're going to keep you in ball games, and well, that one hung up for Gordon, but I feel like Vanderbilt, that's the identity that they have, and already a good start here in this bottom of the first. Hot shot to third, too hot to handle for Diaz down the line. That's extra bases for Kason Howell. He's in standing up with a one-out double.
First pitch fastball, middle half in. Kason Howell jumps all over it. Tied for second in the SEC. See that stat right there, 12th double. Fastball, middle of the plate, borderline in, and just a laser straight through Diaz. And that would have been an unbelievable pick if he had made that play.
Well, he's tied with his teammate, Sonny DeShera, who's stepping into the batter's box with 12 doubles. DeShera out of Hoover, Alabama, played his first few seasons up in Birmingham at Samford. Has come to Auburn and has taken the SEC by storm. And looked up last weekend, he was walked quite a few times in that LSU series. 5 walks in just game 1 and game 2.
Well, I was talking about it. Is Auburn going to be able to have somebody bat behind him that's going to protect him? And the first 2 pitches, McIlvain was attacking. He just missed up. So they went at him with an open base at first base. I thought they might kind of just move past him, but then on that 2-0 pitch, you see a slider that misses outside the zone. Fairly sure that he's probably not going to attack the zone with this pitch either.
And it's up and outside. DeShera takes a 4-pitch walk, his first and second. And that'll set up the cleanup hitter and the designated hitter, Brooks Carlson. And one of the many reasons DeShera's on-base percentage, well, it's up above 607.
Well, he's patient at the plate. He knows that he's got the bat speed to get it done, so he can sit back a little bit, relax, and get something good to hit if they're going to attack him.
First pitch to Carlson outside. Carlson coming in batting just a tick below 300 at 296. Had a tough weekend last weekend at LSU, but went 1 for 4 in the midweek against UAB. McIlvain missing low and outside, and it's a hitter scouting. Carlson, he's been in the big game setting. He hit the game tying 2-run double with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 9th at Texas A&M, and got an opportunity to make a splash here.
Yeah, another Samford transfer after head coach Casey Dunn went to UAB from Samford. Auburn raided Samford's campus and got these 3- and 4-hole hitters. Quite a take.
McIlvain from the stretch and gets a much-needed strike. And facing Brooks Carlson, who's, well, he's been pretty good. Here's where he ranks in Division I, 5th in hits, 7th in runs and doubles. Also top 10 in walks and 12th in RBIs. I mean, just great numbers. And the whole 2-2 against McIlvain. Fought off a really good breaking ball.
McIlvain, first 2 pitches to DeShera were up. And then obviously just pitched around him, moved on. First 2 pitches to Carlson were not very good. He was ultra focused on Kason Howell at second base, and you could see him almost coming up and starting to move his motion forward, and he's still looking at Kason Howell, which you have no chance of throwing strikes.
And a big strikeout for McIlvain. Got him with a fastball in the outside corner.
That's what you get when you throw a 2-1 slider to get back into the count. Now all of a sudden the hitter's in between pitches, and that 92-mile-an-hour fastball, even though Carlson has seen a ton of them over his career, was past him because of that 2-1 slider prior to that pitch.
That slider, that's something McIlvain, he's been throwing a little more this year. Been a good pitch for him.
Well, it's going to be what we saw with Hayden Mullins Friday night starters have to be able to throw something behind in the count to get back in other than a fastball. You have to, even at the next level, the major league level. If you are unable to throw something behind in the count for a strike, you are not going to be very effective.
Got Brody Moore to chase on the 0-1, and now McIlvain is a strike away. That was a beauty for strike 2.
Brody Moore's been doing it here for 4 years. He will find a way to slap something to right field if he's given the chance.
Swing and a miss on 3 pitches. McIlvain, 233 in his sophomore campaign, and that one hit him.
Breaking ball down. The proverbial back foot breaking ball, and literally a back foot breaking ball. That's a tough one. You get ahead, you throw a good fastball, you're 0-1, you're trying to bury a breaking ball down and in, and you just hook it a little too much, catch the guy's foot. Now you got base runners.
And for Mullins, that was the 7th hit batter of the year. That was coming down to Calvin Hewitt starting in left field. And Hewitt, if you missed the midweek game against Austin Peay this week with Vanderbilt, as Vanderbilt won that one 12-2, but Hewitt went 3 for 4 in that game with an RBI. Didn't play against Tennessee. Laid down a bunt and scored on the play with so many errors from Austin Peay. It was like a little league inside the park home run. And saw the highlight on Twitter. It was pretty spectacular to watch.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing because we were talking to Corbin about it, and he was just going, yeah, it got kind of ugly.
Yeah.
They were throwing the ball all over the yard, and he didn't have much to say about it. It shouldn't happen at this level, but sometimes it does.
Well, and even see it happen in the big leagues from time to time as the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. As I always think back to the play and don't quite remember the teams, but would have been a force out at first base, and the first baseman ran the batter all the way back to home plate, and a run came home to score last year in the big league. So
that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare to watch. If I'm standing on the mound, I'm like, just go touch first base.
Mullins missing high on the fastball.
Mullins taking a lot of time on the mound, making sure that he's got the runner set, given a very good hold or a pause on the mound, which usually gets that runner to sink a little bit more. He's not as able to jump and get a great jump on the bases.
And the hook inside, got him looking, strike 3. What a pitch by Mullins, his 3rd strikeout.
Well, we've been talking about how he's been going more to the sliders, but today that's a big overhand curveball. Really nice pitch. Not quite sure what Hewitt was looking for. I guess he thought it might have been down and in, but home plate umpire Hank Himonen thought it was good enough.
Well, looking back at what Mullins did last week against LSU, gave Auburn 4 strong innings, had 7 strikeouts just in 4 innings. I mean, he was efficient. Already 3 in an inning and a third. Carter Young wanting to play small ball, and this is something that Coach Corbin, his Vanderbilt team's pretty good at. They're going to move runners when they have the chance.
Well, and that was what Butch Thompson said. It's really hard to prepare for them because they do everything really well. You don't know what they're going to break it into. They might take off on stealing bases. They might sacrifice bunt. The defense will back pick. There's a whole bunch of things you need to be aware of if you're an Auburn Tiger that Vanderbilt will bring to the table.
And it was interesting listening to Coach Thompson, and he said out of all the teams in the SEC he's prepared for over the years, Vanderbilt clearly always near the top in terms of the most difficult to prepare for because of what all they can throw at you. Needing a strike, Mullins will get it on the outside corner.
Well, I talked about both of these pitchers throwing breaking balls behind in the count, but if you're going to be able to locate a fastball at 90 miles an hour, pinpoint perfect on down and away, you can do that at every level.
2-1 to Young, gives one a ride, deep down the line and foul. And I'll tell you what, Carter Young, he's a guy you can't miss on. He's got 4 home runs this year. Last year for Young he led the team with 16 homers, second on the team with 52 RBIs.
Yeah, he got that breaking ball in the inner half and was just unable to keep it fair. Got that bat head out front and hooked it almost into the parking deck.
Just missed low and in. Mullins with his first full count of the night.
Well, let's see if Vanderbilt plays small ball. Get the runner on the move. 3-2 count, 1 out. Create a little bit of movement on the defense.
Payoff's fought off. One thing that I did find interesting about Vanderbilt when preparing for them is...
You only found one thing?
Well, a lot, but this one offensively stood out. They've been into 20 double plays this year, surprisingly. And that number for me, for Vanderbilt, for some reason, just seemed high. That it actually leads the SEC.
Well, I think that's been part of their problems. In their 7 losses, they're hitting 188 with runners on base. It's just been that type of year right now.
And another strikeout looking. Hayden Mullins with a breaking ball inside.
This slider is at the top of the zone. I understand why Young lays off of it. That ball is high the whole way, ends up coming and landing right below the waist. Really gutsy pitch to throw on a 3-2, but when you see a guy foul it straight back, you got to make an adjustment.
And how about, is that the same pitch he yanked down the line to the parking deck?
Almost exactly the same pitch.
And with 2 outs, his second baseman, Rob Gordon, who made the nice snag in the bottom of the first inning, trying to do damage with a bat.
Another freshman in the lineup for Vanderbilt. Very limited playing time so far this year.
Yeah, only his second start. From right down the road out of Atlanta, Grady High School. Wanted to lay off. David Brown down at first, says he went around.
All right, that high fastball is going to either bring back another high fastball, see if he's going to chase a little bit more up in the zone. That's really good English. Or else he's going to go after that back foot breaking ball, see if he can get him to expand the zone down.
And got him chasing down. Throw down to first. And it's Nate LaRue cleaning things up for the out. Not a bad inning for Hayden Mullins. 3 big strikeouts. 2 with a hook and 1 down low. His Tigers come to bat next. Beautiful night for baseball here in East Alabama. Glad to have the Commodores inside Plainsman Park taking on the Auburn Tigers. The black pinstripes have, well, Greg, they've kind of been a staple for the uniform fans in the SEC, a unique look, and we got a chance to see them tonight. Cole Foster leading off the inning for the Auburn Tigers. They're in the home white pinstripes. Foster digging in, the sophomore out of Plano, Texas, taking over second base for Auburn, batting .275.
Been very solid defensively at second base, as well as hitting .275 on the year and swinging it fairly well. Had a good series against LSU.
Jumps on a pitch here, carrying deep to right. Back goes Jones into the Auburn night. That's a solo homer, the 4th of the year for Foster.
Well, what I've been talking about for the first inning and a half has been how these pitchers have had to throw something 2-0 other than a fastball. And right there, McIlvain throws a fastball down and in, which is 99% of the time, a no-go zone on a left-handed hitter. Cole Foster is obviously part of that 99% and just buries it out over the patio.
First run of the game. And the second hit for Auburn. Right fielder Bobby Pierce chasing after the high fastball, makes it 0-2. Pierce, the starter in game 2 and game 3 in right field, and goes down looking on the outside corner. Nice way to come back from a home run for Chris McIlvaine to get his 3rd strikeout.
I was about to say the same thing, Brett. Nice job, nice rebound. Attacked the zone with a couple of fastballs and catches an outside corner with a slider. And that's what you expect out of a Friday night starter. You bounce back. You're going to get hit. You're going to get dinged around. You got to keep fighting.
Gets Nate LaRue on a first pitch strike. Well, and the thing is, too, like, look, you don't want to give up a home run, but, hey, it's solo. It's 1 run. You know, a long way to go.
And just, you know what, like I said, it takes a little bit of the wind out of your sails. How are you going to bounce back? You're going to get, this is the SEC, man. It's Friday night. You're going to get hit in the math every once in a while. You just got to bounce back. Nice 0-2 slider. Let's see if he comes back with that pitch again.
I got it. And missing. Outside, he was at count 2-2. I thought I did, I'm sorry. That one's in the dirt. First strike 3. Dominic Keegan making the throw down, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for McIlvaine.
Couple of sliders to get ahead, and then this one is just a fastball at about 61 feet. And LaRue's getting the bat started because it's 92 miles an hour and just ended up unable to stop his swing.
And it's the bottom of the order for left fielder Mike Bello. Left side, foul territory. Diaz is there, tailing back in. And missing a little low and outside, makes it 1-1. But Mullins outside the hit batter to lead off the second is looked pretty sharp. I mean, he's lived around the zone consistently with his misses being pretty close.
No, he's been very effective, and like I said, he's been throwing that breaking ball behind in the count. And he's getting the luxury of Vanderbilt throwing up 4 or 5 left-handed hitters. So he's more than comfortable throwing that breaking ball away to those guys like that.
What a good spot.
Right now, Parker Noland is in between everything. Just saw a 2-1 breaking ball. He's got to guard against a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, as well as not chase a breaking ball out of the zone.
And he chased one there. LaRue to the Shera for the 6th strikeout for Hayden Mullins.
Well, when you throw a breaking ball behind in the count, it gives the hitter all sorts of fits. And now all of a sudden on a 2-2 where he's got to be guarding against everything, here comes that breaking ball that was just perfectly located. This one's down in the dirt. LaRue, great job of blocking behind the plate.
Back to the top of the leadoff man, Enrique Bradfield. Bradfield popped out to second his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
Got a good fastball to hit. He's looking for something inner half, trying to drive something up the middle to right center. Got a good fastball to hit right there and just missed it.
Easy one to lay off, 1-1. Well, Vanderbilt, everybody talks about their talent, rightfully so. And Bradfield, he's a big part of that conversation. Freshman All-American last year. And takes a close one outside for ball 2.
Yeah, I can't even stress the nightmare that he creates when he gets on base. And I'm sad to say that Major League Baseball is getting away from the stolen base because they don't feel like it's worth the risk.
And a strike, says Michael Phillips, the third base umpire.
But if they understood, the people that were doing the analytics, if they understood how much of a distraction a good base runner like Bradfield is, and what it's going to create for the two-hole hitter that's getting the good fastballs to hit so I can give my catcher a chance to throw somebody out, it's a nightmare, and they're taking it completely out of the game.
Is there anybody he reminds you of right now in the game?
Right now, I don't have one. Just a solid hitter.
And he's on base after taking the 3-2 pitch in the dirt.
And that's the respect he gets as a hitter. He gets a 3-2 breaking ball down out of the zone, trying to get him to chase, instead of going normal leadoff hitter, here's a fastball, you're probably not going to do any damage.
So now it puts a little pressure on Hayden Mullins and the Tigers. This is one of the areas I'm sure Coach Butch Thompson and the staff have focused on this week, is what happens when Bradfield gets on base. He's 18 of 18 on stolen base attempts. Davis Diaz at third baseman. And you see quickly Mullins taking it to first.
Okay, this is not a good lead right now. He's probably got another foot or so, but that is the lead that they will run from. Usually a little bit shorter. And Mullins is missed up. Now you're seeing the distraction that I was talking about. 1-0 count, missed with a fastball up over the middle of the plate. Good base runners will not push the lead. They will not try to get way out there. They're going to try to steal from a comfortable thing that they can get back on. And you can see him leaning back a little bit.
Gets a strike on the outside corner.
And I can guarantee you, he is trying to figure out Mullins' leg kick when he's going home. There's usually, not always, usually a tick that's going to give away when he goes home and when he goes to first base on a pickoff move. So I'm thinking Bradfield is trying to get a pickoff move right here. And the more he sees, the more comfortable he's going to get. And then you're going to start seeing him taking off.
One ball and a strike to Diaz. And time called. Granted by Himinen, the home plate umpire.
That's one of those that a lot of the time is getting called from the catcher where it's just a hold. You don't even get a pitch called. He's just going to stand there and hold until the hitter calls timeout or the runner at first calls timeout. And Brett, you talk about uncomfortable when you get the hold call and you're just supposed to stand there until somebody calls a timeout. It's bizarre. You can't flinch, you can't move, and you're just waiting for somebody to go, okay, time. That's enough.
Yeah, because there's so many things that could happen with.
Well, yeah, if I sneeze or anything, it's a balk, and so you're just standing there knowing that you're waiting for somebody to call a timeout. So we've seen three different moves so far from Mullins. We've seen the traditional leg kick and a toss over. We've seen the step off the back and a sidearm over. That one was a little bit of a different move.
Coming home and missing high. Mullins wanting a new baseball. Yeah, the glaring difference is correct that you've seen again just with Bradfield being on first and how that changes the plan or affects the pitcher. It's tough.
Especially for a left-handed hitter because he's looking at him. So if Bradfield does any sort of a flinch or something else, Mullins is going to see it. At least as a right-handed hitter, I was blind to the base runner.
Hit a home run last weekend against Tennessee. Got him again with a breaking ball.
Well, he's seen 3 pitches so far this game. He swung at all 3. First pitch fastball in the first inning, he lined into left field. And then the last 2 pitches have been breaking balls, sliders down out of the zone. I'm going to be absolutely shocked if we don't see a slider that's diving more out of the zone. All right, now here's where I'm standing on the, I'm doing my pitching thing, and I'm looking at Hayden Mullins right now. You've gotten him to chase breaking balls out of the zone. You know there's got to be a place to get him with a fastball. Do you want to use it right here, or do you want to try to get another breaking ball, try to get the strikeout? That's kind of where he's at. There's a place to get him with the fastball. It's probably up and in.
And got him low and away with a breaking ball. That's number 7 for Hayden Mullins, tying his performance from last week in Baton Rouge.
Well, Tim Hudson must have said something really smart to walk out there and throw 4 straight sliders, get Spencer Jones chasing 3 of them out of the zone.
And the last 5 outs have been by way of a strikeout from Hayden Mullins. First and second for Vanderbilt, 2 walks, trying to get one back and respond to the Cole Foster leadoff home run in the second. Dominic Keegan, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Hot shot, robbed by Moore, takes it to first, bang, bang! And Duty Noble, Alex Box, Swayze Field, some of the best. As the first one missing out to Blake Rambush. This back to the top for Auburn.
That really is an experience of a lifetime, because these guys are going to go to the next level and they're going to get to the minor leagues, and it's going to be sparsely attended. It's going to be a whole bunch of games. It's not going to mean as much day to day, and you're just out there grinding. And then, you know, if you're lucky enough to get to the major leagues, yeah, it's packed, but it's never an atmosphere like it is in the SEC, where it's almost a football weekend, tailgate, unlike anything that I've ever seen.
Well, nice crowd here on hand tonight, and I was wondering what it would be like, A-Day weekend. Also temps falling below average, I think, for early April. McIlvain behind 3-0 and gets that fastball in there for a strike.
Well, it's been a pretty hectic week of storms here at Auburn. Not a huge deal for the winds that we had going on early today, and then all of a sudden this little cold front blows in. I was waiting for you to give me the weather report, Brett.
Yeah, it's coming in.
Temperatures dropping into the 40s.
We're at 57 right now, but it's not too bad. Coming back hard to the backstop.
Let's see McIlvain working fastballs down and away. Got behind 3-0, able to paint the corner, get a couple of foul balls straight back. Let's see if he goes to that 3-2 slider.
Through the right side, that's a base hit for Blake Rambush. And he has 8 for 12.
Not quite 18 for 18, but 8 for 12 is pretty solid. He is a threat. Case and Howell 5 for 6 in the 2-hole.
Sonny DeShera takes his 5th ball in a row outside the zone. He walked on 4 straight pitches in his first appearance in the first inning.
Well, they're not in a position. Vanderbilt was in a position to walk him. They had a runner on second base. They were in a position to walk him. Right now, you are not in a position. You got to attack the zone with something. And a fastball away gets fouled back into the parking lot.
That's my question to you, Greg, as a pitcher. How do you attack a kid that's hitting .457, 37 hits, 8 homers, and 26 RBIs?
Normally, with the power that he has, I'm attacking right under the belt, right below the hands with the fastballs. And then trying to get him to expand the zone with breaking balls like that down away. Normally, and I'm talking about the guys that I've faced in my life, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, you had to throw them fastballs right in at the belt. You didn't want to get their arms extended where they could do damage to all sides of the field.
Straight away center. Bradfield laying out off the glove. It'll kick away. Rambush goes to third, and his runners at the corners with 1 out. Bradfield had full extension forward on that play. Got a glove on it. Couldn't field it cleanly.
This ball's laced into center field, and Vanderbilt notoriously plays deep. Right now, Bradfield is struggling to get up. He's got his hands on his knees. The trainer made it partially into right field, and he waved him off. I didn't see what he did on that dive, but giving Sonny DeShera the respect that he's deserved and earned so far this year, that Vanderbilt outfield was deep. And if Bradfield is 12 to 15 yards off of the track in center field, that would be about all I would give it.
Well, this Vanderbilt outfield, and Bradfield specifically, a good outfield for the Commodores. Carlson swinging at the first pitch. Keegan keeping the ball in front, but it takes me back to game one last weekend against Tennessee. The outfield had a tough game. They had an inning in the fifth where they gave up 4 runs. They had 2 sun balls, Greg, that was just uncharacteristic of this team, and a tough play here in the 3rd inning tonight for Bradfield.
Well, he made a great play just to knock it down, because once he started to lay out.
Jumped on a pitch. Carlson deep to left. See you later. LSU and bouncing back tonight. Brody Moore joining the hits party. Pokes one through the right side. Or now 1 for 2.
Well, when Brody was up with runners in scoring position in the 1st inning, I was talking about how he's more than willing to go the other way with any fastball or any breaking ball. He doesn't care how it looks. It goes in the book as a single. That ball was hit hard. But McIlvain got him out in the 1st inning with a fastball away. Brody Moore, being an intelligent 4th-year player, went up there hunting a pitch. He got it, drives it into right field.
Auburn now 3 consecutive hits against McIlvain. Here's Cole Foster, who hit the solo blast in the 2nd. Left it up. Well, Greg, for me coming in, one of the things I was excited to see from this game tonight, Auburn's been on a tear offensively. I mean, that's been their strength. For Vanderbilt, their pitching has been their strength. How would the two compete against one another tonight? I was excited for that matchup, and well, so far the Auburn bats, they've answered 4 runs off 6 hits.
Well, they've got pitches to hit. You see why the 2-0 count with 2 sliders is this reason right here. First pitch fastball down and in. Foster drops head. And that ball is out in the patio. And so this at bat, he starts him off with 2 sliders, misses. Foster just fouled that 2-0 fastball straight back.
And Foster has a hitter's count, 3-1.
Well, Brody Moore is a threat to run over at first base. Let's see if Auburn takes advantage of the 4-0 lead. 3-1 count. You know he's going to get something to swing at, something to hit. They call it a run and hit, or a hit and run, whatever you want to call it.
3-1, bouncing ball to second. Gordon goes down to get it. Young at second, throwing to first in time for the 4-6-3 double play. That'll stop a rally for the Tigers, but it's the Auburn Tigers who blow it open. Brooks Carlson goes deep to left, a 3-run home run. Headed to the 4th on the Plains. It's 4-0. Coming back inside, just missing. And Bulger, been consistent in SEC play. Last year, hit .321 with 26 hits. Struggled a bit this year in conference play, but Coach Corbin certainly has confidence in his DH.
We had a good season last year, 274, 5 home runs, 28 RBI. Solid effort.
21 hits here in his sophomore campaign.
Well, this is a big point. Yeah, I know it's 4-0. I know it's only the 4th inning, but Auburn has been able to show that they've got some offense going tonight against the Friday night starter for Vanderbilt. If you can find a way, as if you're Jack Bulger, to get on base, however you can do it to lead off this inning.
Instead is called strike 3. That's strikeout number 8 for Hayden Mullins, tying a career high.
This is getting a lot of people out. 3-2 sliders leading off the inning. And I would really, as a pitcher, know how important it is to get that leadoff out after your team gets 3 runs in the bottom of the third. You really want a big out to start the inning, try to take a little bit more momentum out of Vanderbilt's dugout.
Calvin Hewitt, left fielder, due up. Hewitt went down looking his last time up. Interested to see how that affects his approach here in his second at bat of the night.
Well, he got locked up on a 2-2 slider as well. These guys, you're going to watch Vanderbilt, and they're going to be jumping on any first pitch early count fastballs that they can get from Hayden Mullins, because he's been very effective with that slider tonight.
Got a breaking ball, popped up. It's into left. And Mike Bello calls off his shortstop, Brody Moore. And sporting the Mohawk tonight.
I'm thinking that was a little bit of a change-up, something off speed. Wasn't that slider that he's been very effective with. And when you throw a change-up to a hitter that's looking fastball, he tends to drag the bat through the zone a little bit. And you either get a very routine pull side ground ball, or you get that high pop-up that we just saw right there, caught by Mike Bello.
Base is empty. Carter Young trying to get something going with 2 outs. He's a shortstop. Oh, decent year, 272 with 25 hits. Part of the 4-6-3 double play to end the Tiger threat. Back in the third. Mullins overthrew a bit on that one, 1-1.
Sometimes that happens. You start throwing some really good breaking balls, and you decide to throw the betterest one ever. And it ends up looking at about 58 feet.
And that's 2 in a row.
That one was a fastball. Right now, I don't know what he's thinking. He's gotten off of it a little bit. I don't know if the wind has kicked up quite a bit. The flag is now almost completely straight out, which is pretty rare. It was not doing that earlier. That wind is distracting for a pitcher as well.
Wind coming in at 12 miles per hour. And if you've been to Plainsman Park, it is aiming straight towards the monster out in left. And that's going to help the righties. And Carter Young, who's a home run hitter for Vanderbilt, he has 4 this year.
Well, look for him to look for a fastball, middle half in, try to do some damage.
And he'll get one in, but too far in. 2-out walk for Mullins. And that's the 4th free base he's given up. 3rd walk, 1-hit batter. Vanderbilt's only put 1 hit together, and that was a 2-out base knock back in the 1st inning. They have done nothing since. And it'll come down to the second baseman, Rob Gordon, who only making his 2nd start of the season tonight. Seventh overall prospect out of the state of Georgia. And a nice pitch to come back with for Mullins.
Yeah, whatever's going on right now, that last at bat versus Carter Young was un-Mullins-like. Just completely lost track of the zone, was unable to get back into it, and lands a nice breaking ball right there to get ahead.
And another strike inside, 0-2. But Greg, can that happen time to time? You just in an outing, hey, you just have a batter, you have a sequence that's just not working, but get right back to it, and everything comes together.
Sometimes you have a hitter you just don't like, and you're focused on trying to do something to get him outside the zone, and you walk him. That one, I really think the wind kicked up and was just distracting. His eyes were watering.
In a career high 9 strikeouts for the southpaw, Hayden Mullins. Having a night. His Tigers lead it by 4. All been a factor tonight for the orange and blue. It was Cole Foster in the second inning who jumped on a pitch, made it 1-0 Auburn, and then Greg, the big blow came in the third inning by way of Brooks Carlson.
Yeah, Carlson gets a 0-1 fastball inner half and drills it over the green monster out and left.
Bobby Pierce, 7-8-9 due up for the Tigers in the bottom of the 4th. Chris McIlvain trying to keep his Commodores in it. McIlvain 3 innings so far, 6 hits, 4 earned. Vanderbilt's left 5 on base. A lot of freebies from Hayden Mullins, but Mullins coming back with 9 strikeouts left side. Young with a backhand and a scoop from his first baseman, Nolan, making the play for the out. Nice job by Nolan.
That was a nice pick. It looked like Carter Young took a little something off to make the throw. He had plenty of time. The ball was hit fairly hard. Came up and stayed on the back foot a little bit. Ball sunk into the dirt. And Nolan did a nice job of picking that one. That's the second ball by Carter Young that he threw the ball in the dirt on a possible double play on a line drive. Threw it in the dirt to Nolan. He was unable to pick it that time, but something to keep an eye on.
And Young, pretty good infielder for Vanderbilt too. And him and Diaz, right spot for Vanderbilt on that left side. Nate LaRue, Auburn's catcher, ahead 2-1. And McIlvain delivers a beauty.
Yeah, this at-bat's been slider mania so far to Nate LaRue, and McIlvain working quick. Getting the ball, getting back to the mound.
LaRue, he's been kind of Jekyll and Hyde at the plate this year, and his defense has allowed him to be the staple behind the plate the last 7 games. But his bat can come on time to time. Leads one up, and it's right to the glove of Hewitt and left.
Well, that was about the 5th or 6th straight slider that LaRue had seen that at bat. McIlvain left this one a little bit hanging, spinning. LaRue drills it to left field, but Hewitt well positioned.
Time called as McIlvain getting ready to gun one in, and Bello granted time by Hank Himonen behind the plate.
Well, Bello was just standing there with his arm out going, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. And McIlvain had gotten the pitch from his electronic watch that you see him looking down at and was coming up ready to go and had not even taken a look at home plate. Bello was still standing there holding the time, wait. Nice job by Himonen to grant the timeout.
What do you think of the wristband, Greg, as the 2-0 comes in?
You just had to run me down the I'm an old man, get off my yard comment, didn't you? There you go. Thank you.
Dude,
I already did it a little bit. Yeah, I already did it a little bit on the stolen base.
I have to ask that question, 2-1 in the dirt.
I hate it. I really do. I didn't, didn't think electronics were allowed on the field, but here we go. And I understand it hypothetically speeds up the game a little bit, but I'm not seeing it.
2-2's outside.
As a pitcher, are you telling me that I can't shake? This is the automatic go-to pitch that I have to throw because the catcher's not putting any fingers down. So what am I shaking? Where am I moving? What am I moving to get to a new pitch?
And lost him. Bello takes first on the 2-out walk, and McIlvain has kept the walks under control for the most part, only his second tonight. And all he asked is, and talking to the coaches this week, I'm sure they're asked something similar every week. And, it's kind of like going into everything that's changing in college sports. The transfer portal NIL. And I thought Auburn's coach Butch Thompson had a great response as well. Hey, it doesn't matter what I think. We've all got to find a way to adjust and use what's available. And that's kind of where everything's headed right now.
Well, they're doing it at the major league level as well. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's the wrong thing. It's just there used to be a rule that you couldn't have electronics. You weren't able to use your smartwatch to peek into the catcher like the Red Sox did years ago. And now all of a sudden, we've moved to electronics on the field and getting something from Tim Corbin in the dugout.
Like Rambush delivered a 3-2 single. His last AB, he's 1 for 2. And that one comes in at the knees for a strike. And Rambush, he's been fun to watch. 47 hits this year. He's the hits leader for Auburn. Redshirt junior out of Austin, Texas.
Rambush does not like that inside corner. This is the first time McIlvain has really taken advantage of the inside corner on either side of the plate. Been working mainly fastballs away with that slider. Now all of a sudden, if he starts throwing fastballs into these right-handed hitters, it's coming right out of that zone that his slider's throwing out of as well.
Sky high for Spencer Jones. Lost the cap, but makes the catch for out number 3. No damage done after the... It'll just miss him for ball 2.
It's showing bunt, thinking about squaring. Looks like Rambush was back a little bit at third base. Nolan was going to take advantage of Rambush playing back. Got the 2-0 breaking ball at his front hip and was able to get out of the way.
Hold over foul. And Vanderbilt, on opening day, they had 14 players participate, most by any team in NCAA baseball. The Florida Gators, Arkansas Razorbacks right there behind them, followed by Louisville and Carolina in the ACC.
Yeah, not a bad grouping of 5 teams. You can see they've been at the top of college baseball for a long time. Vanderbilt leading the charge.
Right there last year, game away from being national champions. Big cut from Nolan, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And going back to Dansby Swanson, Greg, I actually remember when he was drafted #1 overall, I believe, by the Diamondbacks. And I think it was an NCAA regional, and it just broke down into tears and embraced his coach and Coach Tim Corbin as Parker Nolan takes first on a leadoff walk. And just a cool moment. I just remember watching that on TV, and just one of the long lists of great Vanderbilt players who've participating in opening day. I mean, look at that list. David Price, Tony Kemp, a lot of good guys on that list.
Yeah, Walker Buehler, Sonny Gray, they've thrown some studs from the mound into Major League Baseball.
Kyle Wright right down the road. Hit Atlanta with Dansby Swanson. Back to the top for Bradfield. And now Hayden Mullins, who's had a career-high 9 strikeouts, having a little trouble finding the zone here.
We had a good lefty-lefty matchup with Parker Nolan being a left-handed hitter, 9-hole guy. You got to attack the zone. He just pulled one out on a 3-2 pitch.
Gets the hook for a strike.
And that has been Hayden Mullins in a nutshell right there. Breaking balls behind in the count. I might be wrong, but all of his strikeouts have been on that slider. I don't think he's gotten 1 strikeout via fastball. So it's been slider mania, and it's been very effective.
Of the 9, 4 have been looking. A 1-1 gets called strike 2 inside corner.
Vanderbilt's not liking the upper part of the strike zone that Hank Himmonen, the home plate umpire, has on the Mullins breaking ball. He's throwing them. They're landing below the waist, but they're coming through the zone a little bit higher than the waist, and Vandy's giving up on it.
Bradfield protecting with 2 strikes. As a hitter, though, how do you adjust?
Well, it's hard because it's coming in, at a little bit below eye level, so you're giving up on it. And these guys have consistently given up on that breaking ball that's been catching the upper part of this zone.
One, two to second. Foster, quick turn to second to Moore to first off the bag as Bradfield turns on the Jets. But the Tigers get the lead runner.
Yeah, that was going to be, that ball was not completely hit very well, so it's pretty routine ground ball, and Bradfield can fly. Gave Brody Moore a chance to throw him out, just could not quite. That's going to be a hard double play at any level to get that guy.
I mean.
And now you put the top stolen base guy on base. I'm almost rather just going, you know what, I'm just going to throw him out at first base. I'll take the guy at second.
Well, for Bradfield, he's reached base twice. He did not attempt to steal in the third after a walk. And it's a first pitch strike to Diaz.
Well, the later this game gets, the stolen base is going to be pulled away from Vanderbilt. So if you're going to see Bradfield run, it's probably going to be right now trying to get something for the Vanderbilt offense.
Yeah, you're right, because later it gets.
You can't risk the out.
Can't risk the out. And that's what it goes back to what you were saying about Bradfield in the major leagues and major league teams going away from that, is that major league teams not wanting to risk the outs. They say the analytics says it's not worth it.
Well, the analytics can't quantify distraction. There's no way to quantify it. So I can sit here and explain it to the analytics guys how distracting it is and how my eyesight is going two different ways. And I'm focused on Bradfield at first base, or in my case, long ago, it was Ricky Henderson, who was a nightmare. And I'm focused two different ways, so my work at the plate is suffering.
1-2's low.
And I guess maybe the only way that could get them to quantify it is the strike ball percentage without a guy on first base that can run and with a guy on first base.
Man, well, the one stolen base I think of in college this year goes to the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and when they stole home against Texas a few weeks ago, something like never seen before. 2-2. That's 3 in a row Mullins has missed out.
Well, it really only happens against left-handed pitchers. Left-handed pitchers don't see the guy at third base, and you can see Bradfield still trying to figure out the leg kick, and that little flinch is all it's trying to do is distract Mullins. It's not showing that he's going to steal. He knows Mullins can see him.
Good pitch fought off by Diaz, and I can see, though, right there from the flinch, just how distracting that would be for the pitcher, again, has a direct line to first base.
Well, Mullins has done a nice job. He's varied leg kicks on Bradfield. The second pitch of this at bat was a slide step, which caught Diaz by surprise. But watch Bradfield on this one. Completely fooled on that leg kick and was going back to first base.
Runner goes on the payoff. Did he go? He did not. That is a walk to Davis Diaz. And while the strikeout total has climbed tonight for Mullins, so is the walks. That's his 5th walk. And, well, his first and second, 1 out, 1 swing of the bat puts Vanderbilt within a run.
That was just so close to being a strikeout. And first base umpire David Brown did not see it. Now Vanderbilt has a little bit of a rally going. Auburn's bullpen is starting to move around, and Tim Hudson's coming out to whatever he said last time to Hayden's Mullins, he needs to say it again, because Hayden took care of business to Spencer Jones with a whole bunch of sliders.
Well, and this is where he came out last time in the 3rd inning. Bradfield reached on a walk, then Diaz walked. But if you're Vanderbilt, same situation. This is who you want up. With 1 out, you have Spencer Jones and Dominic Keegan. I mean, your 3 and 4 hole hitters couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Yeah, you got home plate umpire Hank Himmonen is now part of this mound conversation, which he's walking up behind Hudson going, okay, that's enough, that's good. And to see him standing in the mix and listening unique. That's about the only word I can come up with is unique. You do not see home plate umpires standing in the middle of a mound conversation. But I got to admit, I'm sure everybody in the park would like been sitting around listening to that mound conversation with Tim Hudson.
Well, and
how we're going to get out of this jam right here, kid. It's going to be, let's get a ground ball double play, throw that slider down and away, get Spencer Jones to roll over a ground ball. Foster, you're going to turn it, right? And he goes, yeah. And that's usually the extent of a good pitching coach's conversation.
Spencer Jones, 1 for 2. And Nate LaRue, that is why he's on the field for his defense and his receiving of his pitchers.
Well, you better keep an eye on Bradfield because he got way down the line on that one. He's recognizing breaking ball down out of the zone. If he sees something again, he might just take off, betting on LaRue not being able to pick it clean and make a perfect throw to third base.
Owens back to second and steps to second. Already, though, speaking of Mullins, I mean, next pitch is going to be north of 90 pitches.
Well, he's got to be getting to his pitch count.
And that one gets under the glove of LaRue, and that's a free base for Bradfield and Diaz. Commodores add a little more pressure.
Yeah, that was a fastball down out of the zone. LaRue looked like he came up a little early on it, slid under the glove.
Now for Jones, first base open, hitters count. How do you pitch to him?
Well, with that guy on deck that's hitting 424, I am probably trying to throw that breaking ball that's been so effective, a slider. Yes, I have an open base, but I really don't want to get to Keegan with the bases juiced.
Low and outside, Jones with a good eye.
Yeah, you're in a 2-0 hole. You got Spencer Jones. You got the lefty-lefty matchup. The slider was very effective against him in the third inning. You got to throw a fastball here. You probably see a 3-1 breaking ball, see if he can land one. You really don't want Keegan to come up as the tying run.
3-0 left it up above the belt. And the bases are juiced for Dominic Keegan.
Carson Skipper getting hot in the bullpen, and you can see why I was saying I really don't want this guy coming up with the bases loaded.
Yeah, 416 average, third in the league, fourth in hits, and fifth on base percentage, top 10 in slugging percentage. I mean, this guy can do it all. Powerful right-handed hitter with 5 homers, 28 RBIs. Bases loaded with 1 out and a chance to tie it with 1 swing of the bat. Right now, Vanderbilt just needing some runs. First pitch outside. That's 5 in a row out of the zone, and actually make that 6 in a row back to Davis Diaz. And right now, Nate LaRue just trying to buy some time.
Yeah, you got Carson Skipper, and Auburn is trying to get. And you're going to see Carson Skipper right now. They're trying to get to Carson Skipper, then Blake Burkhalter in a very strong Auburn bullpen.
So the Tigers want a pitching change. We'll have the new pitcher and the numbers when we come back. It's 4-0 Auburn. Carson Skipper called in to get the Tigers out of a pickle in the top of the 5th inning. Skipper, a senior out of Trussville, Alabama. And this has been one of the guys, Greg, that Auburn's leaned on out of the pen. I mean, he's one of the guys that pitched twice last weekend at LSU.
Yeah, he's pitched multiple times in multiple SEC weekends so far this season. He comes in with a 3.24 ERA, 2-0 on the season. This is his 10th game, 25 innings pitched, 24 hits, 23 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 247. You're going to see a low 90s fastball, a plus curveball. Very effective, very high arm angle. As he gets through the motion, he's going to be very I mean, he's 6'5", and you're going to see this arm coming straight over the top as he comes down the hill.
Picked up the win, going 3 1/3 back in the series opener against LSU just last weekend. Already behind a ball and no strikes to Dominic Keegan, and what a situation to come into. I mean, Vanderbilt's got the bases loaded, their best hitters up at the plate. Not ideal coming in as a reliever, but...
Well, you got what you got, and this is what Carson Skipper and what Auburn Tigers have done all year, is try to get to Skipper, then Burkhalter, two of the top relievers in the country. And Butch Thompson is asking these two relievers to get the next 14 outs.
Keegan already ahead, a ball and no strikes. First pitch swinging, fair ball, steps on the bag, throwing the first in time, a 5 unassisted 3 double play.
He didn't take my compliment very well. I mean, it was like, that was a really smart move. You just brought a guy in, you get a one-pitch double play on the third hottest hitter in the SEC, and the unconventional 5U3. He didn't even give me a smirk.
He's in game mode. Those playing Vanderbilt, sticking the bat out. McElvain tossing over, running in time. Just got him down the line. Howell made that play closer than it originally seemed.
Well, it was a very strange play because McElvain falls off to the side just a shade. And then some reason doesn't make the traditional overhand throw and starts to run it over. I haven't seen McElvain pitch enough to see if he's comfortable, but he's made a couple throws over to first base and pickoff attempts. It's much the same way, but it worked.
Well, Sonny DeShera steps in, 1 for 1 on the night, and his on-base percentage, of course, sky high. But walks has a lot to do with that. He walked in the first inning, and for DeShera, that's his team high 29th walk of the year, but he also knocked in his 38th base hit.
We had a good pass at that slider. Yeah, here's how comical DeShera's season is right now, including tonight, because he walked in the first, hit a single in the third. He has been on base multiple times in 23 out of the 25 games.
And McElvain sets him down, chasing one up and away. That's a good strikeout for Chris McElvain. Anytime you can sit down DeShera, but also have a quiet 1-2-3 inning to give your offense a shot, as outs have been dwindling here for Vanderbilt. That's his 5th strikeout.
Yeah, that was a nice sequence. DeShera got a slider to hit, but then McElvain followed up with a fastball up out of the zone and got him chasing. And Brooks Carlson back at the plate after blowing the game open with a 3-run homer in the third. He's seen one fastball today. He chased some sliders, struck out in the first inning with runners in scoring position, got one fastball to hit, took it out over the green monster. And is Bradfield in center for a 1-2-3 inning, just what the doctor ordered for the Commodores. They retire the Tigers in order. Is Boulder, Hewitt, and Young due up next? Next Friday night, we'll have a top 20 baseball matchup for you right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Number 2 Arkansas hosts number 19 LSU in the second game of their Big 3-game series at Baum-Walker Stadium. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And I'll tell you what, Greg Olson, Baum-Walker Stadium, that's an atmosphere in the SEC I don't think's talked about enough, because, you know, Arkansas last year at times, I think most thought they were playing the best baseball in the SEC and just ran out of gas there in the Super Regional. Yeah, that was really a shock, because everybody felt like they were the cream of the crop in the SEC with the way Cops was finishing games, and they were offensively so good. Well, Dave Van Horn, he has the Razorbacks going back in the right direction here this year. The Razorbacks sitting at the top of the SEC West. Little delay here between the start for Carson Skipper facing Jack Bulger, the DH for the Commodores.
And after a long wait, first pitch ground ball to Brody Moore, shuffling the feet. A high throw, but it's Teixeira going up to get it for the first out. And well, Auburn, and they turned some heads with 2 road series wins back-to-back in College Station and LSU. Got the Tigers up to second, but there you see Arkansas, number 2 in the country, sitting comfortably at 8-2. But everybody else, well, it's right there for the taking in the West.
Yeah, it really is. It's a jumbled mess that this thing is not going to play out until the last weekend of the SECs.
That's what makes it fun, though, right?
Yeah. As long as I'm not playing anymore and I don't have to sit on the bench and stress out over needing a win to get into the playoffs.
First pitch strike to Calvin Hewitt. Oh, I have always been stressing from the stands and watching SEC baseball, so I guess I'm used to it from that perspective.
Well, then you should have a lot of fun this year stressing around trying to figure out who's going to get in, and I know there's more stress on the bench.
Well, that is so interesting, though, talking to these coaches, Coach Corbin and Coach Thompson of Auburn. And Coach Corbin, I thought, had a great statement. It is bouncing back from a win is just as important as bouncing back from a loss. Of course, Vanderbilt having the tough series last week against Tennessee, but it's all about centering yourself and finding that balance. And I thought that was so true. And check swing by Hewitt. He went around, sent David Brown down at first, but yeah, back to that statement. I mean, that's one of the reasons Coach Corbin is one of the very best to ever do it.
Yeah, I could have stayed on that phone call for another couple hours because it was really a profile in psychology. There were so many things that he ran through, but that piece about staying centered, leads me to another point that he made. And, obviously we've talked about them getting swept by Tennessee last weekend at home. He said his biggest fear was that Tennessee was going to beat him again this week.
Yeah, and I that was shocking.
It really was
so true.
Yeah, and I kind of gave him. I was like, Coach, I mean, you really are worried that it's gonna have an effect? He goes, I was worried against Austin Peay on Tuesday that we were still going to be down from the Tennessee series.
Softly hit to second. Foster on the slow roller. Quick release to first, and retires Hewitt on the 4-3. Here's where the East stands after the Tennessee sweep last weekend. They're still perfect, 9-0. Georgia's sitting second, but still everybody else is right there for the taking, and Vanderbilt right there in the thick of it at 4-5.
Yeah, and it's shocking to look at the 16th ranked team in the country being 4-5 in their conference, sitting in third in their division, but that's how good Tennessee has been. They went into that weekend 4-2, and now they're 4-5. And Coach Corbin was flat out honest. It's just saying, we just got beat. We got beat every night. It wasn't much of a doubt. And, reevaluating some things. And there's the man right there. But that was a lot of fun talking to him.
0-1 on the way. Just outside it, on the flip side to the Auburn dugout, I asked Coach Thompson, hey, your team's kind of taking on that blue-collar mentality going on the road. And he said, yeah, how do you get rewarded? You take on the defending national runner-up and the defending national champs back-to-back weekends. So welcome to the SEC as the 1-1 pitch is a strike outside corner.
I'm sure some conspiracy theorists will be railing at the SEC, via Auburn for getting back-to-back weekends of that layout. But I'm sure it was done on a coin flip.
Well, you can break it down as a close one misses outside. I mean, look, there's tough stretches for everybody in this league. Unfortunate that it turned out that way for Auburn, but on the flip side, I mean, think about all the teams that's playing Tennessee and Mississippi State back-to-back weekends. And
30 years ago, but it just doesn't happen. You're going to run into somebody's starter that's hot.
Well, it is how much better the league has gotten. We talked about the talent. We've talked about these atmospheres as the 2-1 pitch fouled off. I mean, going to Vanderbilt last weekend. I mean, Vanderbilt's no slouch, and you beat those guys 3 straight in Nashville. I mean, it's just unheard of. I mean, and what those guys are doing week in and week out, unbelievable. Chopped in the middle. A run for Young. Fields it cleanly, up in time, the first for the play. Nice play in the middle infield, but going back to our conversation, here's a look at the best starts in conference play since 1993. You're right, the record goes to the Florida Gators with 10. Arkansas had 8 in 2009, but what's surprising, out of all these great starts, only Arkansas in 09 reached the College World Series. I found that a little interesting. It's a story that, hey, the entire season matters. The season starting is great, but it's all about how you're playing towards the end and getting hot at the right time. Hopping out of the way of that pitch, Cole Foster showed bunt, but McElvain nearly clipped him inside.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just, I don't know what happened. They used up all their energy, hypothetically, during the season. I can't even, go down that path. But as we speak right now, Tennessee is down 3-1 to Missouri at home. Tennessee's at home.
Well, jam shot. Diaz shuffling back. And that's 2 quick outs. And how about for McElvain? Since the walk to Bello in the 4th, he is now retired. 6 in a row. Now it's going to come down to Bobby Pierce, trying to break that trend.
Yeah, other than the walk in the 4th inning. He had that 3rd inning that Auburn dropped a 3 spot with Brooks Carlson going deep. McElvain is honestly, in my opinion, has picked up the pace of his pitching. He is not. He did not start the game. He did not go 3 innings pitching at this pace where he is almost, I don't know, I kind of think of it like a travel ball. You watch a travel ball guy, all he's doing is just getting on the mound. McElvain will throw this pitch and will backpedal to the rubber and get back there to receive the pitch, and he is almost ready to go. He looks down at the watch, gets the pitch, and these Auburn hitters barely can leave the box without this guy getting ready to throw a pitch.
2-1 pitch outside. Well, and here's the thing. It's been efficient, but got to be tough as a hitter to adjust, because you're right. But here, this is the longest break he's taken. Falling behind 3-1. He finally steps off the mound, and that's the longest break he's taken in at least 3 innings.
Yeah, but your defense loves you.
Yeah.
Because they're on their feet. They're ready to go.
And lost him down low. His first walk since the 4th.
Well, you jinxed him on that one by doing the consecutive outs.
Listen.
I think you jinxed Nate LaRue talking about his defense, and then a fastball gets under his.
Well,
dude, you're hot.
You also said that I jinxed. I'm blaming Judd Ward. We called the game where he hit for the cycle, and I said, hey, yeah, he's got, a single or a double, and he hits for the cycle, just stating facts. And Greg nearly bit my head off in that game a couple years ago, and what do you know, the very next day the guy hit for the cycle, and I think I was the happiest person in the ballpark just to
get off the hook.
Well, get off the hook, and for once in my life prove the big leaguer wrong. It's the one and only time that's happened, and probably ever will happen.
Well, I like the way you're defending yourself against the announcer jinx.
But yes, I see what you're saying. So, have you jinxed anybody?
Not yet tonight. So Nate LaRue comes up, hit a line drive to left field on a slider, on that slider in the 4th. Bobby Pierce has no stolen bases, but is a threat, outfielder with good speed.
Tip to the mid to Keegan.
I'd be curious to see if Pierce might take off here, try to create some movement, get the Vanderbilt defense in a little bit of motion to go cover second base. He's got a shallow lead at first, so I don't think he's going to move on this one.
Now for McElvain, he's up over 100 pitches, and again, got roughed up a little bit in the 3rd, but settling in, and Vanderbilt still has yet to get to the pin.
Well, Vandy's got somebody warming up. I saw a righty. He's tucked behind the wall, so I can't quite see who it is. Big swing by LaRue, gets the fastball elevated on a 3-1 count. Went after it, just swung through it. Now you're going to see Pierce in motion.
And the payoff missing high. So back-to-back 2-out walks. Gonna extend it for the Tiger left fielder, Mike Bello.
Thinking Corbin might be trying to get McIlvaine through this inning, give his reliever a clean slate, but I would be wrong on that. Here comes Tim Corbin now. McIlvaine at 103 pitches, very effective with 60 strikes.
And check out the Vanderbilt dugout. Whole team coming out to celebrate the job of their starting pitcher on this Friday night, and Chris McIlvaine.
You know, other than 2 pitches.
Yeah.
You know, he was very effective. He got strikeouts, a lot of weak contact. And you got the Cole Foster home run and the Brooks Carlson home run, and that's the difference in the game. Auburn 4, Vanderbilt nothing. New pitcher walking in.
Commodores going to the junior righty, Thomas Schultz out of the pen. Out of Pennsylvania, 6'6", 225. Greg, his 11th appearance, and he's been all reliable for Tim Corbin and the Commodores out in the bullpen.
Yeah, he's been their go-to guy at the end of the games. 2.92 ERA, 1-1, 4 saves. He's going to feature a fastball 89 to 92, slider in the mid-80s, and a changeup in the low 80s. He has, like I said, been Tim Corbin's guy out of the bullpen, so it's kind of curious. 6th inning. In essence, your closer or one of your 2 guys that you generally use in those spots, he's coming in to probably get out of a jam and move the inning to somebody else in the next inning. He's just here to get out of this jam and keep it 4-0.
I'll tip your cap to Chris McIlvaine with 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, 103 pitches. And Greg, we mentioned before the break the 2 mistake pitches, but pitched fast and settled in. Outside the 2 2-out walks here. I mean, he's really kept Auburn at bay since the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and the Brooks Carlson home run is still an enigma to me. I do not understand how he was looking for a fastball, and that was the only fastball he's gotten tonight. And he was looking for it and just buried it over the green monster.
Bello looking for insurance, though. If you flip dugouts over to Auburn, 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Bello hitting just under 300. 0 for 1 with a walk, has 7 RBIs this year. Schultz needing a strike, he gets it.
Bello wasn't playing much early in the season. They have a bunch of moving parts out in left field and right field with Bryce and Ware. They just lost Josh Hall for an extended period of time. At LSU, he ran into the bullpen bench.
And it was playing well for Auburn. He was a runner. Off the end of the bat, here's Gordon, can end it. Shuffles the feet, and the
junior teams with guys like Michael Kadire and Matt Holliday, and has since he's working at or running a baseball academy. There's a hot shot down the 3rd base line. Rambush unable to get a glove on it. Great hustle by Rob Gordon.
Close play at 2nd, and Rob Gordon able to stretch a single into a double using his speed. That'll be a spark for Vanderbilt. And how about Gordon? Again, limited opportunities this year. That's his 2nd double and just his 2nd start.
Yeah, you're kind of watching Vanderbilt, and they got slider mania'd by Hayden Mullins. And now Carson Skipper's best pitch is a 12-6 curveball. These guys are looking for a fastball and trying to jump it. Rob Gordon got a fastball and hit it right through Blake Rambush at 3rd base.
Here's a bunt, small ball. Skipper defends his position. Strong throw to 1st. Teixeira able to cover as that moves Gordon over to 3rd.
I thought you said that really well. Strong throw to 1st. That one made me flinch as a pitcher, ex-pitching coach, whatever you want to say. But interesting sacrifice bunt, down 4-0. You're giving up an out, and you only have 8 left now to get a runner in scoring position. It's curious. for me.
Oh, on the flip side, what does that say about the confidence as the lineup rolls over? Yeah, Bradfield, and yeah, they've had base runners primarily with walks, but well, Commodore still, they've been held to only 2 hits.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, and I'm not going to sit here and second guess a guy like Tim Corbin, who's got last count 928 wins.
Only 928,
which would be 928 more than me. So he felt a reason to sacrifice bunt, or you know what? Sometimes guys will do it on their own. Parker Nolan might have done it on his own, trying to take advantage of Carson Skipper falling off to the third base side, and he didn't make the bunt or didn't execute the bunt the way he wanted to.
Goes outside, Bradfield reaching. Oh, Commodores, they have their second base runner on third. Had the bases loaded in the 5th, but hit it to a 5 unassisted 3 double play. Hit well into center. Deep enough as Howell makes the catch. Deep enough to score Rob Gordon from third. And that breaks up the shutout for the Auburn pitching staff. Commodores on the board with a sac fly for Bradfield, his 15th RBI.
Well, once Bradfield got in the 1-2 hole, his whole job was just try to get something into the outfield grass, get that run in, close the gap to 3. He did a nice job. He got that Carson Skipper overhand curveball, is able to stay inside of it, and a deep fly ball to center field. No chance for Kason Howell to have any play at home plate.
I got Davis Diaz. He's walked twice tonight. First pitch, a strike coming in here. And I was looking at Diaz's numbers earlier because I got curious. And he's walked more than anybody on the team. His total's up to 22. Very patient hitter. His on-base percentage pretty high, too, up above 434 coming in. But even then, you know, he's in the hole 0-2 now. He walked after falling behind 0-2 his last AB.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of getting on base, and you got Bradfield, who's stolen a bunch of bases, hitting 325, and then right behind this are the big guns, Spencer Jones and Dominic Keegan. And that pitch has everybody asking home plate umpire Himonen where that was, because even the hitter, Diaz, turned around and go, where was that? Would have been strike 3.
Chopped. Rambush waits on it. Close play. Teixeira unable to hang on. And racing back to the bag in time is Diaz. That took an Auburn bounce off the wall. Didn't allow Diaz to take an extra base.
Diaz started to, and you saw, looked like either Brody Moore or Cole Foster got this ball off the wall. Rambush has plenty of time. Has to stay back and get that hop and just sails it. Teixeira tries to get over to the bag. Looked like he got his wrist clipped a little bit by Diaz. And look at this hustle right here. Foster coming from second base. Diaz had made a move to get to second base. And if Foster had gotten there in time to get the ball and tag him, Diaz would have been out making a move towards second base.
Ever Teixeira seems to be okay after getting clipped, but I tell you, the speed of Diaz is really, I think, what gave Rambush trouble there. Because again, having to sit back and wait on it, one thing, but when you're facing a speedy runner like Diaz, it definitely makes it tough.
But he had enough time to make a throw. He had enough time to get a good grip on the baseball. Sometimes if you see something like that and you got maybe Bradfield running where you know you have zero time to find the seams on the baseball and get a good four-seam grip, that ball looked like it sailed. I'm probably looking at it like if I threw that as a sinker, I'd still be pitching. The way it ran up the line was pretty impressive.
Ex-batter in Jones. Having to wait on it, tips it foul.
Spencer Jones has seen a plethora of breaking balls between Hayden Mullins tonight. Skipper came in right after Spencer Jones walked in the 5th.
Well, Jones a good hitter. I mean, like even last weekend, as good as Tennessee pitching is, and we heard it this week just talking to Coach Corbin. I mean, Jones still put up 3 hits last weekend. I mean, he had one of the better weekends at the plate for Vanderbilt.
Well, that's been, over 100 years. Left-handed hitters have problems with left-handed pitchers, good breaking balls. And right now you're just seeing that, and you see him, yes, he just took a fastball away that he would love to have back. But when you've seen like 8 or 9 straight curveballs that have been pretty good from left-handed pitchers, you come off the fastball, you're looking to hope to get a bad breaking ball that you can do some damage with. And right there, he just took a fastball that he'd love to have back.
And a good hook. That'll miss low.
But for me, I was a fastball curveball guy, and if a guy laid off a good curveball that missed by 3 inches like that, I know that he's looking for it. And I can either now go with another fastball and take the chance that he has not moved on from that breaking ball.
Lays off another.
But that's how you know a guy's looking for it. If he's able to lay off of that and he doesn't panic and go chasing after something outside the zone, he's looking for it. So I either have to throw a really good one or I have to move to a fastball.
We'll find out here on the payoff pitch. He goes fastball, got it, look.
This game 4-1 and give the Vandy Bats another 6 more outs.
Hot shot to shortstop. Carter Young's all over it. Well, for the Tigers, been pretty good in the 3rd inning all season. Outscoring opponents 36-8 in the 3rd inning. And of course the Tigers, they're 17-1 leading after the 5th. And that big 3-run home run for Auburn tonight, it came in the 3rd inning by way of the DH, Brooks Carlson.
Well, if you wanted to sit there and look at a stat, that's generally the 2nd time around the order. You're seeing the starter the 2nd time, and you got a guy who's hitting .457 on the season, probably coming up with guys on base. There you go. I just broke down the 3rd inning for the Auburn Tigers. Sonny DeShera comes up with guys on.
Tough play for Diaz, and he makes it from the left side. Got the stretch from Parker, and back-to-back ground outs. And speaking of Mr. DeShera, he's due up here with the bases empty. And you gotta love his walk-up song, right?
Yeah, you really do. And the Auburn fans have taken to it. What few that we have here, they're still here. They're sitting through it. It's gotten chilly.
And first pitch swinging a strike. Well, one thing we've learned all around the SEC, and Auburn certainly part of it, fans are faithful.
They are faithful.
They are faithful. And they certainly like this score, I think, right now for the home team.
DeShera just looks like he is in control standing in the batter's box. He swung through a slider, quickly called a timeout. That one, great pitching sequence. Couple sliders, and then you run a fastball in on the hands, coming out of that same slot that slider comes out, and he's just unable to stop the bat.
1-2. Vandy wanted called strike 3. They won't get it. But Greg, one thing I've noticed with Schultz, not quite as fast, but notice the pace from Schultz, very similar to McElvain.
Well, that's what you want if you're a defensive guy. You want these guys to work fast. You want your defense on their toes. I can't tell you, if you got a guy that takes 30 seconds in between pitches, your defense just starts settling onto their heels. And all of a sudden there's a couple errors and you wonder why, because you're giving your defense just way too much time to sit there. These guys are working so fast that DeShera's had to call timeout twice now.
2-2, got him swinging. What a strikeout for Thomas Schultz. And the Tigers go down 1-2-3. Commodores still in it, 6 outs to play. Dominic Keegan leading off the top of the 8th for the Vanderbilt Commodores, and he's got a good bat. 3rd in the SEC in batting average and top 10 in hits, on base percentage, slugging percentage. Been a tough night for him tonight. A chance to turn that around against Auburn's closer, Blake Burkhalter, this coming in, and this has been the guy down the stretch for Auburn, Greg.
Well, it's been Carson Skipper and it's been Blake Burkhalter. So that combination coming in the 5th inning, Skipper did his job, and now Blake Burkhalter comes walking in. 3.8 ERA, 3-0 on the season. This is his 14th appearance. 6 saves, 21 and a third innings, 14 hits. And here, listen to this stat: 29 strikeouts, 1 walk.
And there it is. That strikeout to walk ratio.
It's 29-1 by my math.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
sorry,
winning numbers for Auburn.
No, and Burkhalter brings a low 90s fastball, a really good slider curve, bigger breaking ball. He'll throw a little cut fastball, and he has that leg kick, and he'll rush it up there. There's a 94. But every once in a while, you're going to see him, and especially with guys on base, he will slide step, and it's just, there's no leg kick, there's no nothing, and he just jumps at you.
Fastball flying out against Keegan, but Keegan ahead 2-0 as Burkhalter picked up the save on Saturday, Game 3 against LSU down in Baton Rouge. Went 2 2/3, a hit and an earned run, 3 strikeouts. Missing outside.
Interesting 2-0 cut fastball up 4-1. You got 6 outs to get. Obviously, Dominic Keegan is having an unbelievable year, but I'm just sitting out here going, let him hit it as far as he wants to hit it. I'm still winning 4-2.
Got a strike. It's Keegan's momentum. I think he wanted that one for ball 4.
That's just a habit as a hitter.
Yeah.
You know, that's close. I'm going to try to sell it by starting to walk down. I'm not going to disrespect the umpire by dropping my bat, but I'm going to at least move that way.
No flinch, but took it outside. Leadoff walk.
Well, you were asking how many jinxes I've had lately. There you go. 29-1. I'm railing on how great the walk for Blake Burkhalter and leadoff walk on 5 cutters out of the zone.
I have to say this, 14.5-1 now.
Your math is very good.
Yeah, I've got a little guy in my head that fills me in with good stats from time to time.
Keegan has no stolen bases on the year. This is not a position for him to take any risks. You got Jack Bolger up at the plate, 0 for 2 on the night. Got hit by a pitch in the second. Burkhalter's just a little bit out of sorts.
Burkhalter checking Keegan over at first. Goes home. As a pinch hitter. It's Gavin Casas for Vanderbilt, the sophomore, hitting 300, 15 hits. And certainly don't mind the pinch hit opportunity here. Bolger 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, I like the lefty-righty matchup. Bolger had seen a bunch of lefties and in there for that spot. You give Casas a chance to keep the line moving for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Two-one, just missing for ball 3.
Everything seems to be a little elevated out of Burkhalter right now. He's usually driving down the hill. And looks like we got Cam Hill out in left field. Excuse me, Bryson Ware out in left field.
Everyone's popped up foul, and well, what I keep noticing, there that Vanderbilt dugout. You can feel the energy, a little excitement over there for the Commodores. Again, offense been pretty quiet tonight with 2 hits, but they're trying to fight and claw their way back into it. Gavin Casas being the guy as a pinch hitter. Tough one off the mitt for LaRue.
All you kids sitting at home, if you think it's out of style to choke up on your bat when you got 2 strikes in a big situation, take a look at this. He's got at least an inch choked up on that bat. And that's going to allow him to make better contact, get the bat head to the ball a little bit quicker.
Payoff pitch, Vanderbilt with a strikeout. 90-mile-an-hour fastball sets down the pinch hitter.
Burkhalter right here attacking the zone. Just gets a swing through from Casas. He got a pitch to hit. It fouled off 2 of them. Burkhalter wins that battle. Vanderbilt down to 5 outs now.
And that's the left fielder. Now it's the pinch hitter. It'll be Javier Vaz, the senior pinch hitting out of Huntsville, Alabama. Vaz getting ahead 1-0.
I was talking all night about how that high breaking ball that Mullins was throwing, and even Carson Skipper was catching the top of the zone, and Vanderbilt was just unable to do anything with it. That top of the zone now that Burkhalter's throwing on these fastballs is not getting called.
It's a strike here. It's 1-1. He started for Vandy against Tennessee with 2 for 17 in his last 10 games. 1-1 down the line, just foul. Holy cow. Out in front just a touch.
Got a high fastball inside from Burkhalter. Burkhalter's shown 1 changeup to a lefty. Now would be the time to either throw that little cut fastball down and away or change up something to take advantage of that bat speed that Vaz just shown.
High fly ball straight away center. A long run for Howell. He'll get there for the out.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. Burkhalter came with a changeup down in the zone. As I talked about earlier, if you throw a good changeup, the hitter registers fastball out of the hand, and then as he's coming to the point of contact, the ball is not close. It's about 5 feet behind. He drags the bat a little bit, and you get routine pop-ups just like that one, or nice ground balls to second base.
Burkhalter using the defense for the out. Got to get through Carter Young, starting shortstop for the Commodores. And is ahead quickly.
Burkhalter using a lot of cut fastballs away to lefties. Very difficult pitch to throw. You're trying to create spin, yet you're throwing from the same side of the rubber. Actually, Burkhalter is on the third base side. It's just really hard to create a lot of spin on an arm side pitch.
Strike 2.
And he's doing it very effectively. It's very difficult for a right-handed pitcher to throw a cut fastball away to a lefty and have it do a whole lot breaking-wise, but Burkhalter's very effective at it right now.
Burkhalter a strike away here in the 8th inning. Wanted him to chase the fastball, and to Young's credit, he didn't.
Now, he had him set up there. I think it was just a little too elevated. Nice job by Young to lay off. We're seeing all these left-handed hitters coming up. They're just trying to scramble and fight, and Burkhalter's using a whole bunch of cut fastballs.
Got him looking, and strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Burkhalter. And the Auburn bullpen staying strong with Blake.
You've seen them both tonight. This is one of the guys in the back end mix.
And first pitch sliced into right field. Jones all over it for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Not a bad way to start. And that'll bring up the Tiger shortstop, Brody Moore.
Moore 1 for 3 on the night. He singled to right field in the third, struck out in the first. I think I scribbled a pop up to first base, but I know that's not right. In the sixth.
On a ground out to short, his last AB.
That's what it looks like, a 6-3.
I don't want to throw you under the bus like you would do to me.
But you did anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah. I just casually left it out there, led you in. I didn't say, come on, Greg, you didn't write that down properly. I mean,
I scribbled over it. I don't know what I did wrong.
It's all about the approach.
But this thing's going to be a mess here in a little while.
3-0 to Moore from Grayson Moore, and it's a strike.
These Vanderbilt pitchers are just working so fast. And the one thing I do love is that when they get behind, when they go 3-0, you just saw Grayson Moore walk off the back, take a deep breath, reset his mind to get back into the right set, and then he gets back on the bump and he starts working fast again. For you young kids at home, there's nothing wrong with resetting your mind and taking a breath and going, okay, I'm 3-0, I need to throw one strike right here. And then the next one, I need to throw one strike, and just get back into the count that way and not just keep working fast when it's not being effective.
Here's the thing about the Vandy pitchers, Greg, with the pace, as we've touched on it some tonight. Is that something that's taught? Or is it just something three guys have in common? I mean, because it's been the starting pitcher and the two relievers.
I don't think it's something that is normal. You tend to want to take your time, take a breath, and work. And I think it's a Vanderbilt thing where these guys are taught to work fast. It's better for your defense. It's better for the game of just moving, getting the ball and going.
Well, puts a runner at first for Cole Foster with one out. Foster went deep in his first at bat tonight with a solo homer in the second. Grayson Moore getting ahead 0-1 on the outer half. Moore is smooth though, just watching him on a couple pitches. Nice delivery, good movement, and his fastball just jumps out of his hand.
Yeah, it really does. Low to mid-90s fastball. Pretty repeatable mechanics. You can see he's a little bit more upright when he comes set. So he's got a little bit of a back tilt, which is unusual. But short leg kick, which is very duplicable. And you've just seen a couple of good sliders. He's going to probably throw a high fastball right here. A little bit too high.
Seems like you've done this before.
Well, I'm actually, I don't have the watch, so I don't know what they're calling. But you can just sit here and you see how to get guys out. And after I got hurt, I hurt my elbow in the big leagues after a couple years, you kind of got to figure it out.
And Grayson Moore does the job on Cole Foster.
So he goes slider, strike one, slider, strike two, high fastball, sets up that slider right there, comes out of that same zone as that high fastball. And Foster's just a shade late on it. I don't think he picked it up clean, didn't recognize it early enough.
And nearly a high throw that Parker Nolan able to clean up over at first base.
That looked like it was 90 miles an hour over to first base. He just, that was gas.
Whew.
Brings up Bobby Pierce.
Another one right on a dime. Trying to keep Moore in check.
Brody Moore's got 2 stolen bases on the year and 2 attempts. He will steal. This is a good situation to run. Try to get somebody in scoring position. Get one single to score a run.
Bobby Pierce walked once tonight. It's the only time he's reached. Still a good average, though, at .304. What's Moore's strategy here? Continuing to go to first. Down 3 and Moore. Not a huge steal threat here.
No, but he will run. He's fast enough. He's a good enough base runner. He will take off if he gets a jump, but he's got no lead.
shot. This will find a gap right center field. Moore's on his horse from first. Waved home to score from third. Headed to third is Bobby Pierce sliding in with an RBI triple, and he gets the fans fired up with a little insurance to the right center gap.
Really nice piece of hit. Saw a slider for strike one. Gets a fastball slightly elevated on the outer half. Drives it into the gap, and Brody Moore, we were talking about it, he can run. And I think Bradfield might have bobbled that ball a bit because there was just no chance of getting Brody Moore or even Pierce at third base.
First pitch strike to Nate LaRue. And actually, no, it is LaRue. I was afraid it's a pinch hitter, but yes. But now Auburn, he got another run now that's just 90 feet away at third.
Well, we haven't talked about Dominic Keegan behind the plate. That was a great block on a breaking ball in the dirt. Just smothered it right in front. Perfect textbook block. I'll tell you what, as a pitcher that throws a breaking ball, you want to be able to throw your breaking ball down out of the zone. And if your catcher can't block it or a couple of them get through and guys score, you aren't doing it again. So there's a certain level of trust only earned by you blocking these balls with a runner on third base.
Vanderbilt needing a strike or an out. This one hit well. It is hit high. It is hit far. It will stay in the ballpark. Enrique Bradfield able to track it down on the warning track. Auburn adds another run. Bobby Pierce with a triple to right center. 5-1 headed to the ninth. With 3 outs to play in the top of the ninth. Carlson's 3-run homer in the third. The difference in the ball game. RBI triple though by Bobby Pierce. In the bottom of the eighth didn't hurt things for the Tigers. They lead at 5-1, facing Nolan, Bradfield, and Diaz. As Mike Burkhalter looks to close it out for the Tigers.
Probably see Vanderbilt taking a strike, trying to find 4 runs. They got to get some walks and some hits and get a little bit of help to add up 4 runs against Blake Burkhalter.
Well, this is one of the guys that helped get the Commodores on the board is Rob Gordon, who doubled his last at bat and scored on the sac fly from Bradfield. One's a little outside and low.
Just missed with that cut fastball down and away, almost perfect location. Getting a little bit of barking from the Auburn fans that wanted that for strike 2.
They'll get it there. Well, you got to remember, too, not only are they up 5-1, it's also chilly.
And it's Vanderbilt.
And it's Vanderbilt.
And it's Vanderbilt.
And it's Vanderbilt.
You know, the funny thing about Corbin's conversation was, you know, my memory here is Vanderbilt has done fairly well here, and fairly well is being generous. And he went right back to 2018 where they got swept here, and it was a turning point for Vanderbilt. They got swept, they reevaluated and ended up turning their season around at that point. But it was funny how right away he corrected me.
2-2 pitch.
He goes, oh no, we got swept there in 2018. And I was going, oh, sorry.
Well, it's funny though, in talking to coaches about wins and losses, they will remember the losses and hardly remember the wins. But that was a turning point. They made it to the Supers that year and eliminated against Mississippi State. 3-2 pitch, big fastball, and got him chasing up and away for the strikeout. Burkhalter has 3 in an inning and a third.
He's been very good. This one looked like a cut fastball at 89 miles an hour, a little bit elevated, But the difference between that 92 to 94 mile an hour fastball and that cut fastball, which looks just like a fastball, but it's 3 miles an hour slower and it's moving about 5 inches away from the right-handed hitter, is enough to get Gordon out.
First pitch strike to first baseman Parker Nolan. Well, and for Vanderbilt, you're right. Their success here is, you're right, generous. Saying it's been pretty good as Nolan rolls one over, making 0-2. I mean, Vanderbilt won the last 4.
And that's what it goes back to. I mean, early on through the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, actually before Tim Corbin. Fastball that I was talking about is so difficult away. You show a little bit of a fastball, and then all of a sudden that cut fastball down and away is moving a couple inches. It's a little bit softer, and you get swings like that. Great job by Burkhalter to hop off the mound, and that throw over to Scherer at first base was probably 92.
Now it comes down to Enrique Bradfield. Been a threat all night on the bases. First pitch missing outside, ball 1. Had the sac fly in the 7th to score Gordon. Brought his RBI total up to 15. Right now just trying to get on base to make a little magic. Burkhalter missing low and in.
I'm going to talk about it again to those young kids at home. This is one of the best players in the United States. He is choked up an inch right now, trying to do something, put the ball in play, use his wheels to get on base and keep this Vanderbilt rally going.
Burkhalter getting the strike as Bradfield wanted to offer, but indecisive.
That was a rare Burkhalter changeup at 84 miles an hour, and Bradfield got the bat started, and he's like, the pitch isn't here. See if we see another one. It'd be a good time for a changeup.
Big cut. Burkhalter needs a strike.
All right, here's the fun thing. Burkhalter's got 94 miles an hour in the tank, and he has not shown Bradfield one of them. Right now, fastball away, 94, I gotta believe is gonna be past this bat.
Olsen for the win.
He went with a cut fastball. Fans are on their feet. Big win over Vanderbilt, hanging right here.
Payoff pitch, strikeout to win it.